Alright guys, what's going on? Insanity coming at you today with another mission from Zombie U, and right now I'm just trying to make my way over to Buckingham Palace, and supposedly there's going to be a good amount of supplies there that I'm going to wind up getting my hands on, and it'll make a nice little place to, bunker down. So anyways, I was going to go ahead and use this, video mostly as a nice, start to my new episodic show. It's going to be called Game Changers, where we go ahead and take a look at the past, the present, and the future of different gaming trending items and topics and things like that. And since I was playing Zombie U, I decided to go ahead and why not do the evolution of zombie games. And how forever ago, as long as I can remember, we were always playing a particular game, rather it be something that's as old school as like Super Nintendo all the way up until now with you know crazy episodic, The Walking Dead. I mean, something as simple as that, where basically you're just trying to tell a story. It's still a zombie infested world where it just seems that no matter what you're playing, no matter what system it's on, it just seems that there's no slowing down the zombie trend. So I was going to go ahead and just try and, take a step back and take a look back at what, zombie games have really, stood out among the rest. Like, for me, I go back as far as, as one of the major zombie games that really stuck out for me, which was Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Super Nintendo. Basically, that little game me and my older brother used to always play all the time. It was a great little co-op experience, running around with squirt gun Uzis and Coke hand grenades. I mean, it was just amazing to try and make sure you were saving all your neighbors from, the undead and rather large ants and babies with, little hatchets that they would throw at you. So overall, I mean, I would definitely say that was one of the first few games that not only introduced like, a great co-op feature, but it also kind of put some groundwork down for some of the co-op zombie experiences we have today. Moving on, besides that, I would definitely say, like the trademark franchise would have to be, Resident Evil, especially with the original and Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation. For the time that we were in, I mean, it was a big advancement. We were getting 3D zombies, and they were moaning and they were slow, and it's what everyone loves about the zombie, genre today. And I guess you could say it's been tried to be recreated multiple times, and I would definitely have to say, like, the best Resident Evil to date is the Resident Evil 1 remake on the GameCube. One, it had amazing visuals, and two, it kept true to its original form by adding in a few extra little gameplay elements that we all got to enjoy, like I don't know, I forgot what they were called, but basically the zombies that you had to, make sure you burned or, cut off their head or whatever so they wouldn't come back to life. I forgot what they were called, but beyond that, I mean, then of course you could always run on over to like Silent Hill. That franchise is always more in the survival horror side of things, but with the nurses and the babies, there was some zombie things involved in there that really screwed with your head. I mean, when you look at Resident Evil today compared to what it was back in 1998 to 2000, where it had fixed camera angles and slow moving zombies and creatures that were unlike anything we've ever seen. And you look at Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, it's completely changed. I mean, for one, I understand with new engines and new times, you can't use the same old format. But if people are dying to play the old way, why not make some money and maybe make HD versions of Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and make a Resident Evil trilogy of the first three games all redone in HD. Spend a good year, three different teams each polishing all three titles. At that rate, you can make some mega dough, Capcom. Throw that thing on the Xbox Live Marketplace or on the PlayStation Network, and don't even make discs. You can make even more money that way. All right, let's go ahead and jump in a little bit further. We've talked about some of the major franchises, but what about the new stuff that's out there? Like, how is the zombie idea, transformed? I mean, I was saying in Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, zombies have changed into these ideas in our head that they're not slow-moving, dead things anymore. They're fast, they can jump, they're smart, they can dodge, all kinds of stuff. And I wanted to go ahead and move over to the franchise Dead Space. I mean, for one, when Dead Space first came out, everyone, was amazed by it because after Resident Evil 5, everyone was kind of let down with the idea of, oh, survival horror is dead. And it was a great awakening for the entire, genre and a bunch of survival horror fans to sit there and go, oh my god, I'm still scared. I can play a game with the lights off and jump every now and then. And for it to be a game where you didn't have traditional weapons, you had nothing but mining tools, you had to be creative, and the enemies weren't necessarily zombies, but, I guess you could say that they were people that were turned into these creatures, so I guess they're kind of zombies, but, you have to break off all their limbs to kill them. So it was just a new, innovative way, to take a person that was already dead, transform them, and you have to go and kill them. The other franchise I wanted to get into is Dead Rising. Again, a sandbox world with countless ways to, do missions and add a little bit of RPG style stuff in there and using almost anything as a weapon. That's kind of like every zombie killer's dream, is just being able to create something. And with Dead Rising 2, that was something that was nice, is that you were able to combine weapons to create some of these even more insane items that you can, use as part of your arsenal, which was something that was totally new and innovative. And the fact that you were, stuck in a mall like Shaun of the Dead style, everyone was just, freaking out over Dead Space 1 and Dead Rising. And it's amazing how just a cult little movie like, Shaun of the Dead could get a spin-off game like Dead Rising with a completely new story with somewhat of the same concept. And I think that's why it caught on so quick. But with insane weapons and zombies galore to kill. I mean, they would stay true to their original form with the slow moving and all that other stuff, with some just crazy individuals as bosses. Now, the other one is Left 4 Dead, and I definitely have to say, this is one of those few games that was a co-op experience that was hands down a culmination of all the games I've just mentioned. If y'all like the gameplay, guys, go ahead and like it. This is going to end it for Game Changers. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.